Hello guys, this is the continuation of HTML elements. So last time I talked about HTML inputs and HTML input attributes. So I also discussed the label element. So this time around I'm discussing about another, let's say 3 or 4 more elements. So the first one I'm talking about is the select element. Select and the option. Yeah. Select and option element. So in a form, we usually see this kind of stuff. Like if you click on it, maybe you can select something from here, something like this, or it can be, let's say, so it can be like countries, group of countries. Yes, for I'll just be doing a little example so that we can see and understand what that select is. So the select we use to create something like this. Select an option element. So going right to it, we're going to be creating a new was creating a new field set so that would be like I will create select your country. So we have legend, they just call it location. So we have location here. So I'll be using a p tag to include everything. Should I use a p tag? Yeah, let me just use a p tag to include. Okay. So let's look at what it means. As you can see all kinds of so you need to put the name and the ID attribute in the select. So it's very important. The name and the ID attribute, you need to put them there in the select. So let's go right into it. So we'll start with our label. Our label will be the definition of what you're about to do. So that's what is all about definition. So we have our ID of I mean we don't have an ID yet, so we'll just call it the label names of no, your your country. Yeah. So we start the select. So to create that kind of stuff, we start with the select tag. So putting select tag, it must have his name and his ID. Very, 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 very important. It must have his name and ID. So the ID will be used to connect to this label. Why the name is used to store the data at the back end. So very important. So we have the name as ID as country. Let's also call the name and the for as country. Same thing. Country. So that's that. So in between the opening and closing tag elements, so we'll put in all the whole options. But first, let's see how it looks like. So as you can see, location, then your country. So if I click on it, it's connected. But as you can see, there's nothing inside, it's empty. If I click at this small black over here, it's empty. So this is very important. So to create this list of items inside it, just like this one, to create list of items just like this one, we have to use the option element. So the option element is just create list of options. So we start with the first option. Let's say first and foremost, I'll write my country, Nigeria. So in this option element, the value is very important. Without the value, you will not see anything. So you have to put Nigeria here, also put Nigeria here. So avoid errors. So let's make another country, Algeria, Algeria. So that's that. Then let's go and refresh. So we can see, as you can see, Nigeria is here. You can see Nigeria and Algeria. So you can select anyone when it goes in there. So as you can see that super cool, super cool. So use these options to create as much options as possible that you want. So these options have like particular they have some attributes that are useful. Let's say the disabled, because I've talked about this disabled. Once it disables on the element cease to work. So let's go and refresh. We have Nigeria disabled. As you can see, you cannot select it on some people. So that's what the disabled does to it. So let me try the selected. So we have the selected too. So let's see what selected does. As you can see, selected already selects it. So by default, the first option is the one that is already selected, but you can select another option by using this selected. So that let's remove it. So if I should refer it by default, the first one is Nigeria, it's already selected. So if I want this one to show here, if I should refresh as the first selected one before you can go and select your own option, I can give this one the selected attribute. So once I go and refresh, as you can see, Algeria is the one that I selected. So you can go ahead and change your information to what you want. So that's what the selected attribute does. Super cool. So we have another deeper meaning for this, this select this time. So you can group them as you can see in this form. I grouped this for into junior class and senior class. As you can see, I cannot even select the senior class because it's the group. So we can do this with the option group. So just like the name options, we are going to group the option into option group. So this is not anything hard, it's not hard. So we'll just be doing it. So coming here, I'll cut this so you can have like as many options you want. So if you want to group into option, then into different options, we start with the first option. Instead of starting with normal option, start with option group. So the option group is denoted with the element called opt group. So that's that. If after you select, you put your opt group, then your opt group, you must put your label. If you not put your label, you will not see any opt group like any option group. So I'll not put as the label African countries. So in between this opt group, that's where you now put all the whole options that are now African countries. Which is option group. You now put everything that is now an African country, Algeria, Ghana, Egypt. So we can have a second option group. So copy this. So let's say we'll name this second one as European. So European countries. Close, then we close it. So that's that. So changing the names of the country. So don't make mistake and forget to change the names here. So I'm changing here Ghana because this is the main place that computer is collecting the information from. Uh, Egypt. So you have to change the value. As So changing the one in between the open and closing tab. So European countries, just writing in the country. Let's say England, Scotland, which other country again should I put? Let's put Argentina. Although Argentina is not in Europe, is it in Europe? I don't know. Argentina, Spain. So that's for the whole country. So let's go and refresh. Let's see. As you can see, our countries has been separated into two different option groups: the African and the European countries. So you can select anyone or give anyone disabled. So it depends on you. So let's say let's give this one selected. Let's give England selected. So we say England as the first one. Then let's give Ghana disabled. Ghana should be always disabled. Yeah. So we go as you can see England selected, Ghana is a disabled country. So as you can see, that's for option and select. So you can practice this to help you a lot. Then we go to our next element today. We have another one that's similar to this, like a little bit similar. Um, we have the data list. The data list still makes use of these things we used here. Data list makes use of these, but it's quite a little bit different. The syntax is different because we make use of two elements here: an input element and the data list element. So we're going into them right now. So after the first, I need to put it here so I can differentiate them. After the first one, we have the second one as the data list. So putting it in a Peter. Okay, so open Peter. Then we start with our label as usual. Let's say your favorite food. So from your label, we now have the input. I don't think this input will be carrying any type, but it will be carrying an attribute called list. So it's carrying an attribute called list to have its own unique name and to be carrying an ID. So to carry an ID. So this ID is used to link your input to your label. But this list will be used to link this input to a list of information that we want. So we'll be going into that now. So let's have an ID first, an ID of food. Let's use for maybe one or information already has like food as his name. So we're using foods. I think for all your form elements should carry their name so that you won't have any problem like at all. So that's that. So if we go to that refresh, so we can see what you have done. As you have gone to that refresh, so I hover on here. So this is basically how it look like. So we need the list. We need the data list. So without that data list, I don't think anything is going to work. So we want to put the data list. So we put in the data list. So the data list will be carrying an ID. So the ID will be this list name. So the list name is food. So pasting it here. So let's go and refresh. So nothing here. So let me show you the syntax so that we won't be not as you can see we have our input with a type of text. You can put this type, you can put it, but I recommend you put it and not put it then because I don't want to discuss it. So this is the important part. This place where we have the list as coffee list. This is very important. Then we connect the data list ID as you can see. Data list ID as coffee list, so as the list. Both of them have the same. The option, the input to have list of coffee list and the data list to have list ID of the same thing as the list. So they will not have all the option in between them. So let's do the same. So as you can see, we have already done the same. We have list here as food, or we have ID here as food. So in between the whole data list, we'll be having the options we want. So we having value, let's say rice, value of rice, have rice. So we have beans, so we having yam, we having egg. So we having egg. So let's go and refresh. Let's see what we have. I need to stick with the type. Yeah, input type text. Input type of text. So why is this not working? Hmm. So although that's the syntax, I don't know why mine is not working. It is the syntax just for writing it. I don't know why mine is not working. Still yet to figure that out. So, maybe because I don't have any data connection or something like that. So let's just move to the next one. But I'll still be checking for it as you are passing through, still checking for it so that correct and check why it's not working. So we have the next one as button. So just like the input type button, this button is just exactly the same thing. It does not have like it's just a straightforward function. You just use as if you want to have a button on your listen just like this one. You can add it and give it JavaScript functions. So that's that. So we have so that data list was like a new type of is a new type of element that came in with HTML5. It's a new version. So yeah, some browsers is supporting and some browsers they don't know if it's supporting. So I think maybe it's not supported in my own browser. Maybe that can be the only solution. Maybe it's not supported in my browser. Yeah, that might be the only solution to that. I'm not supported in my browser. So maybe if I upgrade it, it might be supported. So yeah. So going to the button. So the button is just like that input type button. Input type button, but this one is quite different to using just only button instead of writing input type button. So the button will carry a type of button. So the button can have like different functions. It can be a reset button, it can be a menu button, it can be any button. So this really reset and submit button also works as the input type reset and submit button. Or if you put it at type button, it just respond as a normal dormant button. But mind you, this button can no longer be only dormant. It can be used for certain functions like in JavaScript. So I'll just be adding a very simple JavaScript code so that we can see how this button can be useful. So I'll give it a value of button and I want to write the JavaScript. Let's say on click, then to alert, welcome. So that's that. So you have to put something here. So that's that for button. So I'm going to go and refresh so that we can see what the button looks like. So this is the button. As you can see, it's looking. So what I did was that if I click on this, you see an alert saying welcome. So if I click on the button, wow, as you can see, an alert is saying welcome. So mostly using JavaScript, or you can use it here as a submit button if you change the type. So we have another important one, and that's the text area. So in normal forms now, you're seeing where they'll text fill out some information about your feedback and shit like that. You see a box like this, very big box like this, so you can just put information. So the most useful and most appropriate element to use to do this is the text area. So that's what we're using here. The text area is very important and useful here. Or just like all other elements, all other input elements, you have to connect it to a label. It's not a must, but I do normally connect it to a label. So I have a label. Anytime I talk about connecting to a label, I mean connecting the ID of that element to the fore of the label. So let's give it a an ID of message MSG. I'll give it MSG. I'll come to name and also give it MSG, that message. So we can give it a placeholder of write your feedback. So nothing will be there. So let's go and refresh so we can see our text area. As you can see, looking a little bit small. Look at the placeholder, write your feedback as you can see there. So look at the placeholder. So we didn't put anything in the label, so it's looking somehow. Let's put something in the label. So like message. Let's put everything inside the P tag. I think that one will be appropriate. So it's inside the P element. So let's refresh. As you can see, the message is here. Message is connecting to this. Smooth and easy. So we have an attribute for this text area, and it's called the rows and columns. So the rows and columns, they define how many text can be on a particular row, thereby expanding the height and width of the text area. So it's just like this. But instead of us doing this manually here, we can do it from our HTML. So let's give it a row of 1000 and codes of 1000. So as you can see, rows, zeros, columns, columns. So what we have here is very big. So I'll just reducing it to 100. I'll rename it to 100. So as you can see here, it's being reduced. Let's reduce it to 30. 30. Yeah. So looking a little bit neat. So as you can see, the codes affect the width of the column. The codes affect the width, while the rows affect the height. So that's that. So you can have 40 here, 20 here. So that's that. So looking neat. Then we have one other one. You have one other element, and that's the output. So I will not be using this unless I want to just front my JavaScript skills. I will not be using this here. Unless your name, but I'll still show you what it's being used for. So I just want to show whether there is any other one I can discuss. That's very important. Yeah, I don't think so. Yes, that's one thing I missed out. So I missed out the size and the multiple. So we'll be going back to our select. So we're going back to select. So in some cases you can see when, although I'm not sure, you can see when you be like see multiple of these options before you can see all of them. So I'm showing us how to do that here. So we have what we call the size attribute. We have what we call the size attribute. So if you select the size attribute, it will determine how many options can you be able to see. So it will be like how many options can you be able to see. If you put like four options, you'll be able to see four of the options. As you can see, I can see four options. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see, four. I'm seeing up to like four information. So it's not making me scroll. Just like sometimes this scatter go. Some people used to design their stuff like that. Why some others don't used to. It depends on the programmer. Depends on your own choice. How you want to do it. Then we have something else. So in some cases you cannot, yeah, in all cases you cannot select, let's say, two. Let me set back our this thing, our size to something like this. Let me move the size. So in all cases you cannot select two information. Like select one and two. So it's not possible. But we can achieve that by using the multiple attribute. The multiple attribute allows you to select multiple options. So using that, I'll be able to select multiple options just by adding that multiple So if you want to select multiple options, just go and click and say select. So able to select multiple options, what you use is your control. Then if you hold your control on your keyboard, then you cannot be clicking on the ones you want to select and the one you want to select clicking on it. So that's select multiple. But if that multiple is not there, you hold your control and click on selecting multiple, you're not able to select multiple. So am I missing out anything? I don't think so. So let's do the option. So let's just front some of my JavaScript skills. So let's use the output. Yeah, so I'm talking about output. So the output. So let's say you want to just build a normal calculator. Let's say you want to build a normal calculator. Then you want to display the output. So it's this output element you use to display your output. So I have the first input here. I'll just call it number, input type number, and I'll give it a label of first number. So this means first number. So I want to first num. Let's connect it. Let's give it first num again. I'll use an ID of first. Let me not be this. So I'm cutting this out. Then I'm using the P elements, put them. So now this one be the second number. So let's change this to S S. So that's it. So we will now have our output. So I'll be doing this in a different form so that it will not affect the other ones. Because if I should click on the submit button, it will definitely submit everything. So this is it. So let's go and refresh. Let's see how our stuff looks like. So as you can see, our first let's put something in the output. So let's just put answer. As you can see, this is the answer here. So something here. So I want to, if I should select a number, let's say 1 to 3, or I should select a number 1 to 3. Once I click on a button called submit, let me put a submit button. So I'll be using the button here. Let's put the button. You don't have to know all this. I'm not showing you what input type and output system is being used for. So once I put on this, I just want to show you what is being used for. The output is being used for. It's also calculations. So I just want to show you an example. So if I click on this calculate, this answer turns to any answer, let's say 2 times. I'll be using multiplication here 2 times 1. So I'll be giving it a function called click calculate. So don't mind anytime writing it, so I don't need to go fast. So I'll collect any information that is inside here, any information that is inside this one, inside this first one, and store it. Then any information that is inside the second one, and I'll also store it so that we'll be using both of them to do the multiplication. So we have a function where we can do the multiplication. So we call it calculate. So the calculate will be using input dot value so that's that. So let's go and refresh. So let's test it. Let's see whether I made a mistake. Oh yeah, I did make a mistake. So I did not put, you know, where this is going to be. So the last part would be okay. Let's go to calculator. Then we have function. Then we have calculator. And then we calling this output. So we using I didn't call out the output. So our output dot test context equals calculate. So let's refresh. So we'll be inputting, as you can see, nothing here. So we click on the numbers. Let's just click on calculate. It's not working. There should be a little bit problem. So, yes. So that's the mistake. So make kind of mistakes in your code, there will be big problem. So I put hashtag when I was already getting by ID. So you still be learning that in JavaScript. So this is what the output is being used for calculations like this. Let's increase the number to like 10 or increase this one to 40. Click on calculate, as you can see the value here is 40. So that's one output you can do. So you can just practice. It's not much you use this JavaScript so you can still skip the output, but I'm just showing what output is being used for. So that's that.